Grand Rising America. My name is Christian Stovall, the American heiress and the founder of the Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education. Welcome to my channel. Hey everybody, welcome you guys. So I was thinking we could listen to a little bit of Miles Davis and let people tune on in, let people know we're live. I'm so excited to share with you guys today. So don't be down. Stand up, all right? And that's what we're going to do. Greetings, Orlando. Hi, a comic, American Indian. What's good, George Wichard? Welcome, you guys. I'm happy to be here. You know, sometimes you got to get triggered.
I'm just playing GTA over here, Sia.
That's my baby. Hey, power. Legend of Naga Charlie. It's been such a long time. How are you? Hey, y'all. There's a lot, a lot we have to discuss today. I'm happy you guys are here. How's everybody doing? Hey, Grand Rising, Mob and Mike. What's good? Nice to see you. Welcome you all. Drinking my energy drink. Okay. Tis a beautiful day for the truth. You know, I feel like I've been in my own world, my own mission for so long. I didn't realize that people didn't really know what's going on. And that we're gonna have to really set the record straight. Welcome, you guys. All right, so we're about to get started right now. I'll turn a little bit down. Okay. Now, if this is your first time ever tuning in, my name is Christian Stovall, the American heiress, and the founder of the Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education, also known as the FAIRE. Our mission at the FAIRE is to restore the American Negro, people are calling the African American. American Negro is a label as well. Maybe we shouldn't talk about labels. We are here to restore the original Americans who are now being classified as Negro, colored, Black, and African American. And the reason why that's important is because of racism in history and racism and colonization, history has been rewritten. It has been erased, and now the narrative is that the Black people here who has been here through Jim Crow and Reconstruction, the Civil Rights era, the colonial free inhabitants, they're trying to say that all of those people were brought here on slave ships from Africa. And I'm here to tell you guys that that is an absolute lie. That is just not the truth. Hold on one second, okay? Hold on one moment. Okay, we're back. All right, so like I was saying, the presence of the American Negro, the people who they're calling African American, Black people, Black folks, okay, is not because we've been brought here by the Europeans. No, we're the original Americans. And this is your first time ever hearing that. I'm so excited to tell you the news, okay? Because right now we're living in such an amazing time where the truth is more accessible now more than ever, okay? And what we do at the FAIRE is set the record straight. And the reason why I created this foundation is because when I researched my own family history, let me restart. Sometimes, like I said, I'm in the thick of it. Okay, I'm past having to prove to anybody who we are, even though that the record has to be set straight. That's what we're doing with this. But our heritage, our identity, our nationality is not up for debate. Because more than ever, we have to band together as Americans, as original Americans, to be able to preserve our heritage, our identity, our right for freedom, as well as our right for sovereignty and everything. It was good, Smoke Signal. Welcome. So this is very important. It's important that we know who we are, so that we can understand the situation that we're in and we can get real about doing something about it. Why? Okay, well, number one, our babies, okay, are learning lies. And within another generation or so, if we don't stand up right now and claim who we are, it's going to be lost forever. Okay, and people really the existence of us in our original communities and lands here, and the fact that we built these towns would be really lost to history. Okay, so at the fair, we stand on our original American signatures, and I'll play that little. I'll play our original American identifiers. Signatures, our original American identifiers for you guys, so that you guys can get an idea of what an American truly is and how you can connect to that, to see if you're an original American. And if I haven't made it clear yet, what I'm really trying to say is that if you're looking at civil rights, if you're looking at Jim Crow, there was only white and black here in this country. Slavery, all of that. It was all what we can remember of the colonization of America. But the truth is that the Negro has always been here. We was here first, okay? We was here first. And that's just it. All of the racism, the violence, the lynching, kicking us out of towns, Red Summers, all of that was because they were trying to subdue and subject and usurp the original inhabitants, who were dark-skinned, brown people. I mean, even looking at the definition for... we're going to get into that. If you're looking at the definition for the N-word per the Oxford English Dictionary, it's a native of America, originally applied to the no, this is not the right definition. Hold on 1 second. The definition is a dark-skinned person of any origin, but in early U.S. history, used usually with reference to the American Indians. Hold on 1 second. Let me check this real quick. Is there more to that? I know we'll come back to that. I don't want to take too much time. But okay, so let's see what we're standing on as original Americans.
Who are the original Americans? History has been rewritten, but the truth remains. The Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education, or simply the FAIRE, is here to set the record straight. Our foundation is simple. The FAIRE stands on its signature original American identifiers to define what an original American truly is. Our mission is to uncover the truth, reconnect descendants, and restore a lost heritage. Through our FAIRE Original American identifiers, we reveal the true identity of the original American. The emblem of America. The emblem of America is an allegorical figure from the British Museum and is noted to be an ethnic representation of the American people. So what exactly is an American? The definition of American. The 1828 Webster's Dictionary defines an American as a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginal, or copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Colonial and U.S. Census records. Early U.S. Census records show that for the first 70 years, only two racial categories existed: colored and white. Who were these colored people? The FAIRE asserts that they were the original inhabitants of this land. DNA. Ancestry.com DNA analysis labels the only communities for the region of indigenous North America as either African American or European settler. Surprisingly, there aren't any Native American communities listed for these lands, leaving the African American communities the only ones given the nationality American, proving that those labeled as African American today are the true original Americans. Your ancestry holds the key. The FAIRE encourages everyone to research their genealogy, connect with historical records, and rediscover their true roots. Every generation carries a piece of the story, one that deserves to be reclaimed. Join us in reclaiming history. Visit the FAIRE today. Connect with your roots and restore your identity.
Okay, so the foundation is strong, and it should be very clear that we're Americans, that the people that they're calling Black Americans or African Americans, the colored folks, the Negroes, the ones they were calling the N-word, are the original Americans. And we just have been taught lies because in order to be able to set up shop here in America and to colonize, our way of living had to end, and we had to be now put into the system. And now we're living in the slavery now. Okay. And they painted a very different picture. What we were experiencing in the past was just our first contact, our colonization, the slave patrol and all of that. The slave patrol were really for free folk. The people, I mean, even if you're just running over it. No, I'm getting into specifics. But, you know what I mean? What was going on was, Black people, we lived in all of these towns. Let me find the screen size. So we're exploring the ancestral DNA. What we're finding out is through ancestry.com. Are you guys hearing this? We should be excited. I'm sorry. Am I not getting excited? Ancestry.com, although they are saying that we're from Africa and what they call their ancestral regions, there's another portion of the test called ancestral journeys. In fact, you know what? We're going to just play the video. I have another one. You guys ready?
For years, we've been told a version of history that simply isn't true. But what if I told you that the proof of who the true original Americans are has been hiding in plain sight? Inside Ancestry.com's own data. Most people only pay attention to the ancestral regions in their DNA results. But there's another section most people overlook, something called ancestral journeys. And this section tells a very different story. In the region known as Indigenous America's North, there are only two community groups listed: African American and European settler. No Native American communities. None. That means, according to Ancestry.com, the only groups historically rooted in this land are Black Americans and European settlers. This lines up exactly with the 1828 Webster's Dictionary definition of American, which states an American is a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals, or copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So who are the present-day, copper-colored Aboriginals from these lands? The African Americans. And who are the descendants of the European arrivals? The settlers. How do we know this is the truth? Because in Ancestry.com's own data, they are giving Black Americans the nationality American, while labeling their oppressors settlers. The truth has been in front of us all along. This isn't just about one group. This is about correcting history for everyone. Ancestry.com's own research confirms what has been hidden for centuries, but they refuse to acknowledge it. That's why we're calling on Ancestry.com to tell the truth. Our petition demands full transparency and an end to this misclassification. Because history belongs to all of us, and it's time to set the record straight. Sign the petition now. Share this video. Because the truth matters to all of us.
Okay. So that's what we're doing. We're standing on it. Also, I realized I'm like trying to get to do these more often, but maybe once a week might be more doable. And for now, we'll see. I'll come as much as we can. But what I need for everybody to do in the meantime, okay, if you're a part of this channel and you're tuning in, I need everybody to, one, go ahead and subscribe to the FAIRE's YouTube channel. It's FAIRE, F-A-I-R-E. Ooh, I should write it down. Hold on. It's at, you can search it. I don't feel like getting the whole thing. All right, hold on. Sorry. How do I share the channel? Oh, well, that's still not going to be able to help you guys search, but okay. I need everybody to one, join the channel, right? Subscribe to the new YouTube channel, the FAIRE Rules, where we'll have all of these videos so you can share too. Because what we need to do now as a tribe, we are the Do Something About It crew, okay? We've always been the Do Something About It crew. We're going to be sharing these videos. Oh, also, hey, Mob and Mike, thank you so much for the survey, okay, and the feedback, okay? And thank you to Brother Kale. Thank you for everybody who's given feedback. I really appreciate all of that. And I'm talking specifically, if I drop the survey and these descriptions, they're specifically about the videos that we're making for the FAIRE Foundation, okay? What we're doing is we're creating a stand by claiming who we are, by defining what an American is, and then connecting it specifically to us, the brown people, okay? And I'm sorry if you guys are coming in and you're in the middle of this, or it's your first time hearing this, it might sound crazy. It's like, what's going on? But the proof has always been in the pudding. All we have to do is just kind of like lift the veil a little bit, okay? When we're talking about the definition of American, okay, we're not talking about anything that's different. We're talking specifically about being an American. Everybody who lives here in America right now is claiming the nationality American. But the people who were originally here, whose ancestors were hung on trees, whose ancestors were put into slavery, whose ancestors were chased out of their own land and towns, are now being told they're from a continent across seas. And now we're the ones who least feel connected to the land. That's crazy, and not on our watch. Okay, so what we're going to need for people on this channel is to be able to share the videos. If you're seeing people, you know, having a hard time because they want to share their knowledge, because I'm seeing a lot of people, they want to share this story. They want to share the truth of who we are. These videos, these broadcasts should empower them. Okay. And that's another thing. That's what I need. I needed to do this for myself as well. I want to tell my ancestor stories. To give you guys an example, like my ancestors have been here, let me remove it, not to stage again, like every step of the way. Okay. And for them to have said that we came from Africa, you do need to understand what I'm saying. We had leadership positions. And even in towns, when you see those pictures of people being lynched, oftentimes they have very nice clothes on. You know, these are like the chiefs of their community. It's just we're free inhabitants. We have a different culture. And I think that's another thing that we need to be able to reestablish. And because people don't associate American culture with Black culture, but Black culture is American culture. That's why when people come, they do our dances, our food. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is American. Soul food is American food. So let me say, what else did I want to make sure I get? Because I don't have too much time right now, guys. The But yeah, we've been here for forever. I want to tell my ancestor stories. Okay, we're the Hildebrands from the Hildebrandt root of the Trail of Tears. We come from the mixed and colored bands of George Hildebrandt. He was the wagon master of the Hildebrandt route. So I come from, and that's another thing. Is it's a very specific intersection of colored and settler families, which made the story of American history very clear. Okay, it's that everything has been switched. And if that's the first time you're hearing that, that's the truth. I mean, and you know, that would be the perfect time to try to explain a little bit about the movie Wreck-It Ralph. So it sounds crazy, but they tell us the story in so many different ways all of the time. Okay. For instance, that movie Wreck-It Ralph. Here, I'll show you a couple more of these pictures. Let me take this off so I can show you some of the stuff. The founding of Pocahontas, Arkansas. I'm a direct descendant of the colored and settler families who founded Pocahontas, Arkansas. Okay, hey family. And George and Billy Lee and West Ford. These are my ancestors. Okay. And so another thing, speaking of ancestors, I did want to share with you guys this. So this book, Borderers, you can find this on Amazon. Like, I need to get like an affiliate or something, like one of those, what do you call it? Affiliate programs. Buy the book, okay, and I'll get a portion. Hi, cousin Carla. So anyway, this book is, let me see, did I have his picture up here? Yeah, so Thomas Stevenson Drew. Again, like I said, settlers and color families. He was another grandfather of mine. And he was the 4th governor of Arkansas. He was the superintendent of the Indian Agency. So like I said, it was very specific bloodlines that helped me understand how white Americans became Native Americans, okay, and how Black Americans have been marginalized, pushed to the side, and now are being told that they got off of ships. But we didn't get off of ships. In fact, the settlers got off of ships. We know that, right? We call them the Mayflower, the Nina, the Pinta. Okay, and that's, I'm joking. I'm saying that real, okay? But I'm also, I'm not talking about specifically all that's a very short time of history. But you guys know I start to get into stuff, don't, okay? I'm trying to edit so we can get to it. Okay, but some of you guys might not be understanding what I'm talking about because we have been taught that the establishment, why did I bring Thomas up? Thomas Stevenson Drew. Why did I say that? Pocahontas. If I remember, I'll tell you guys. But oh yeah, that's why. Duh. The book. We're back. Okay. So a descendant. He had a white family. His wife's name was Cinderella, and their descendants we've gotten in contact over these past years or so because one of them has written a book about our ancestry, okay? And he also had a child with Cinderella, his white wife's half-Black cousin, okay? And so we come from both the Drews and the Bettises of Pocahontas, Arkansas, and we're the colored families, okay, of that. And she's written this book called Borderers, all right? Becoming Americans on the Southern Frontier. Let me remove this so you guys can see bigger. Becoming Americans on the Southern Frontier. And that is even interesting within itself because if they're borderers, if the white side, and you get so much history. I learned so much about my white bloodlines as well as some of the parts where she talks about, when the mixture happened, okay, which I descend from. And just a little drop, becoming Americans on the Southern Frontier. This goes back to one of our signature American identifiers, the definition of American itself from Webster's Dictionary, 1828. A native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals, okay, or the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America, okay? So it was once the Black people, and then it became the white people. And that's the same thing that she's talking about. They had to become Americans on the Southern Frontier, but we already were. And we still are if we look at the DNA situation, okay? Right? The fact that there aren't any Native American communities for these lands. And we find out that there's 2 communities. There are the African Americans, and the European settlers. Because if you could put American after African, you could put American after European, but no, American is an ethnicity. And so this is what we're teaching at the fair. And the ethnicity, the blood goes back to the people who owned the American communities. And as you can see, it overlapped. We owned at one time, the settler communities too. But anyway, you might be having a hard time understanding what I'm talking about because you didn't know that the established. Add this to the stage and remove this. And I will read a part of Borderers written by a distant cousin of mine, Carla Berenger Rabinowitz. All right. And having been, this is from page 407, having been taught from childhood that a white man would never lie, Bruce was astonished and distressed to find that his new neighbors frequently lied to him in order to take advantage of him. Like many other former slaves in Leavenworth, he bought a small house on the assurance of the seller that the purchase included both the house and the land, only to find that the land on which it stood was still owned by someone else who demanded rent for letting him live there. His experiences led him to conclude that Northern whites were morally inferior to the older generation of aristocratic Southerners, who he believed felt themselves bound to behave honorably toward their slaves. Okay. So that is one thing that sometimes, we're not understanding that lies have been told and that people will lie to take advantage. And the lies that have been told here in America were that the biggest lie is that the people that they found here, that they brought here from Africa. Okay. But it was easier to do that because why would we allow them to subject us and oppress us so horribly if we understood who we were? Okay. So the perfect example of that would be Wreck-It Ralph. All right. Let me show you guys a couple of clips from that. First, in the movie Wreck-It Ralph, Vanellope and hold on a second. Let me add a slide. One second. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Oh no. Hold on. Image file. All right, give me 2 seconds. Okay, you guys, we're gonna take hold on 1 second. I'm gonna play this video for you guys, and then we're gonna get back onto the Wreck-It Ralph. Oh no, I'll just play the Wreck-It Ralph thing. 1 second here. So I'm realizing we can continue with this real quick. But basically, Ralph and Vanellope, they represent Negroes. They go through discrimination, the Jim Crow laws, etc. I'll play a short video of some clips that show them being treated like Negroes. Okay. Where are we at? Mm-hmm.
There's no way that I am racing with a glitch. Francis, Candlehead, come on.
Sourville, that glitch cannot be allowed to race. And bring that thing to my castle. Gosh, she could... Get them! Gangway! Stop in the name of the king! That's me! Now we got him. Oh, good. The cops. She went that way. Oh, still. Ow! Dad. What are you doing?
Inaction of the 17 officers may now be investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office for possible civil rights violations. But of greater concern, said the county attorney, are the results of interviews with some of the police bystanders.
Okay, and so we see that they're being treated like Negroes. We look at Vanellope's story. We find out that she wasn't allowed to race. She wasn't. She was treated like a Negro because they put these no glitch signs. They were calling her a glitch, just like they treat us here in America. They call us colored or the N-word. What do you call it? And then we find out that actually she's not a glitch. She was just taught, everybody in the game, all the other racers who were bullying her were just taught that she was a glitch because King Candy, who represents the establishment, has taught all of the other racers that she doesn't belong by ripping out her code. Okay, and that's what we're finding out has happened with ancestry.com. They tell us in one part of the test that we're from Africa, but then a whole nother one shows that actually the lands that we originate from, there aren't any Native Americans in that area. The only two people are the Black people and the white people, and they make it very clear that we was here first by giving us the nationality American. Okay, this is the good news. You're welcome. All right, and so let me show you guys. I'll show you a little clip about her getting the code right. I'm getting a good idea too. Let's see.
Talk. Vanellope was a racer until King Candy tried to delete her code. Tried to delete her code? So that's why she's a glitch. Why is he doing this to her? I don't know. Suit yourself. No, I swear I don't know. He literally locked up our memories, and I cannot remember. Nobody can. But I do know this. He'll do anything to keep her from racing, because if she crosses the finish line, the game will reset, and she won't be a glitch anymore.
Okay, and she won't be a glitch anymore. This is us crossing the finish line. We're not a glitch anymore. We know exactly who we are. We're the Americans. We're the ones who have been here since the very beginning, since the first census. We are the free inhabitants. What else? We are the Aboriginals, as you know, defined in the definition for American from Webster's Dictionary, 1828. And the only American communities that are listed for Indigenous Americas North from Ancestry.com. And it's okay for us to take a stand. Is it guy? Yeah. Is that guy?
I'm gonna take. I was just gonna do
Hold on a
something,
second.
okay?
Yeah,
Nothing.
go ahead. Hold on a second. Let me get him.
What's that?
Okay, and that's another thing. I realize there's never going to be perfect moments. This is, you know, we're building this foundation, and I do see us growing and being able to find more and more support for us to be able to do this big time, right? Okay, but right now I'm with my family and stuff like that. And so, okay, so let's get into it. So we just saw about Vanellope and how they didn't want her to cross the finish line, how her code was being ripped out. That's just like the stuff that's going on at Ancestry.com. We can play that video. I'll play the other one now so we can. Oh, and I'll show you. One second. Ooh. That's for two. Yes, hold on, Bubba. Here you guys go.
DNA. Ancestry.com DNA analysis labels the only communities for the region of indigenous North America as either African American or European settler. Surprisingly, there aren't any Native American communities listed for these lands, leaving the African American communities, the only ones given the nationality American, proving that those labeled as African American today are the true original Americans. Your ancestry holds the key. The FAIRE encourages everyone to research their genealogy, connect with historical records, and rediscover their true roots. Every generation carries a piece of the story, one that deserves to be reclaimed. Join us in reclaiming history. Visit the FAIRE today. Connect with your roots and restore your identity.
Okay, so like I said, what we're finding out is that although they are very misleading in the way that they're presenting the results, the proof is in the pudding. Our communities have been it's establishing the fact that where we're from in the South and whatnot, those were our original lands. Okay, we're the only Americans for those lands. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say to you? So it's like, like I said, Huntsville, Alabama, stand up. You're the only Americans. Those African American communities from that area are the only Americans listed through, like I said, we're using Ancestry.com's own data to be able to prove that we are Americans. Okay, we're Americans. We're Americans. That's big, right? Especially because right now people are trying to tell us otherwise. But settlers cannot tell us who we are. We have every right to be able to claim our nationality. And so, if you guys want to know how to find your DNA community, if you've taken it, and so mind you, this is not I'm not promoting taking the test. This is totally up to you if you want to. What we're doing is using those results to be able to reestablish who we are and reclaim our nationality as Americans, as original Americans. Okay. But if you did take the Ancestry.com test, you can watch this video and it'll give you a quick instruction of how to find your ancestral journey. Okay, so back to the story about Wreck-It Ralph. We find out that King Candy was ripping out her code, right? And we're finding out that the establishment is doing that. But let me tell you, the key part about it is the person, King Candy, this establishment, who has been teaching everybody that she's a glitch, okay? And I'll show you guys again about that part. Let me see. No glitches, no colors. Okay, let me get rid of one of these. I'll take this one. So we find out that you know what I mean? King Candy is telling everybody, and they're like, we don't want to race with you, glitch. We don't, and mind you, people treat us like that here in America. Sometimes they're very rude to Black Americans. They don't want to speak to them, and when they're in passing, just we have been completely disrespected in our own land. And that's the same thing for Vanellope. It's her game. We find out that she's actually the ruler of the game, okay? And so let's find out what happens when she crosses the finish line. And you know, there's so much that we can go through. Let's find out.
That'll ever be.
All hail the rightful ruler of Sugarrush, Princess Vanellope.
Okay, Princess Vanellope. And then we find out that King Candy, who had been child, give me a second. That you know what I mean, telling people to treat her poorly, he isn't even from the game. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? He is actually a rogue character from another game, aka a settler. All right, so that's what's going on. If you're watching this and you're an immigrant from another land and you're here and you've been taught to look down on the American Negro, on the people that have been here for forever, it's because you have been taught by the King Candies, and we have been having a hard time because we have gone through this disgusting, not only oppression, but violence. And nobody has been able to stand up and say, hey, this is not okay. But we're Americans, and we have something to say about what has been going on, okay? So one, if you guys have not signed the petition, I'm reviving the one that we had started some years ago so that we can finally, once and for all, make sure that we speak to Ancestry.com. The other thing I wanted to look at really quick, and then I'm gonna have to go, is this cigar shop Indian, okay? Now, when a month or so ago, I chaperoned my oldest daughter's field trip, and we went to the Oakland Museum of California. And in their section about Indigenous Americans, the California bands of Indians and whatnot, all of the images were of the mixed mestizo bands now, okay? People who have been mixed in with the conquistador, the Spanish, people who have been mixed in with some of the Chinese colonies that were in California, right? They weren't showing any images of dark-skinned people, okay? And the crazy part about it is, even in California, the original inhabitants were very dark-skinned, and I'll show you guys some images, okay? Not this one. Here we go. So the Ohlone, an indigenous tribe of the California Bay Area. This is where I'm from, okay? Hey, Bay Area, yeah, area. Okay, check out these brothers, okay? This is from the Bay de San Francisco, okay? This is the San Francisco Bay Area. These are what the original people look like. Okay, because we're about to get to the heart of the matter right here. You guys ready to see this? And so some of the ones who are a little lighter, that's when they got mixed in with the Spanish, because mind you, this is a picture of a mission, and the missionaries were Spanish, you know what I mean? So some of the people were mixed in, but the blacker, the darker the people is the deeper the roots, okay? So these are the originals. Some of them have been mixed in by now, and by now the people are very, very mixed, okay? And that is fine if they honored the darker skinned images and people that they came from. Now, this is where we're going to have an issue, okay? Let me show you one more picture. Look at these people. Do you see the hair? Okay, do you see the hips? Do you see the lips? Are you hearing what I'm trying to say to you guys? These people are very dark skinned, very, very Aboriginal, like they said, the Aboriginal tribes of America. Okay, so let me show you guys again. I'll get into that really quickly. And we're looking at the definition, 1828, of American and Native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals, or the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay, I'll also show you guys, so like, what's an Aboriginal? The first, original, primitive, or Aboriginal people are the first inhabitants of a country. We, the Black people, are the Aboriginals, meaning we was here first. Okay, and that's what, and at the end of the day, no, we're not mad, we're educating, and that's what it is. It's like, I realize if we're going to do something about the situation, we're going to have to get the word out there. We're going to have to unify as a people, and then we're going to have to, from that collective united front, be able to enact changes with our position as the original Americans. Okay, and so you guys are right here. We're at ground zero, and you guys should all be very excited to be a part of this new movement, okay? Because it starts with us. So it's like, there we have 32 people watching live right now, and it's these souls that we are connecting with in these early stages as we are sharing our foundation with the world, okay? And it's going to take us to be able to get out there. If we're seeing situations where people are trying to talk, let them know, boom, hey, we're the Americans. Okay, you can share these. Like I said, make sure that you guys add the FAIRE Rules YouTube channel and join the FAIRE. It's a free service. It's a nonprofit foundation that I'm using to house my public ministry. And my public ministry is me using my voice to be able to share with people who we are, our true heritage and identity as so-called African Americans, but we are the original Americans, and it's okay for us to be able to reclaim that. We should be actually super excited and proud, because what that's doing is that's leading to our restitution, our reparations, and our ultimate freedom, so that we can live in peace. Let me just tell you, I was thinking about our children and these schools, and not to say that the schools aren't doing a good job, because I do feel like, especially depending on where you're at, you know, some schools, our school district is doing a wonderful job in implementing, providing a space for people to share their culture. It's very diverse. But what I'm finding is that the system overall, it is inherently set up to it wasn't supposed to include us. And so when we integrated, we put our children into a situation where they're not being seen. They have no clue who they are. They don't know what's going on or why they're being treated differently. Like, for instance, I want to give like an example. I'm not going to say which kid, or, you know, because I don't want to get in, but there's this little girl at my children's school, and sometimes she's having like a hard time. You know, she would cry, she'd get upset. And I know her teacher's frustrated. And sometimes, you know, I'm sorry, I don't want to cry. Sometimes, you know, I want to say, you know, she just needs some love, you know. She just needs somebody to understand, to tell the other little kids, the sugar rush racers, that they're taught to treat her differently because of her skin color, because she's an original inhabitant, because King Candy was jealous and wanted to bring his ass over to our game and teach everybody that we're glitches. Sorry. And I realize that sometimes I do that even with my own children. It's like, I just want to be able to get something done. I want us to be able to, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard. And I realize that it's like, in both situations, we can't just move on with the program. We're missing, and we're not understanding that after everything that has happened, all that we've had to endure, there is no way that we're going to be able to get back to the program, get with the program, without proper and adequate rest, healing, okay? I'm sorry. That's another thing about what I wanted to say, you know, and things that we can demand as a collective is that we're not going to be doing this anymore. We need time to be able to rest. We need time to be able to heal. We are, you know what I mean, healing from generational trauma that we've had to undergo because of the situation during the colonization of these lands. Sorry, you guys. Oh, God. So back to the Oakland Museum of California. Hands off the cigar store Indian. So when we were there, I was with my daughter, the one you can see right here. And we were at her field trip, and the only dark skin image and the oldest thing that they had in that exhibit for the indigenous Americans from California was this cigar store Indian. Okay. And so it says, this carved wood Indian stood in front of a San Francisco tobacco shop in the 1860s. Americans who sold tobacco used stereotyped images of the native people in their signs because the plant was first grown and used in the Americas. Okay, tobacco. Now, mind you, I'm a Virginian. Okay, I'm from Senacomoco, the original word for the name of the land of Virginia. I'm an original from that area where tobacco was prevalent. We grew tobacco. Okay, so it's like, I'm not offended by this image. All right, and not only that, it's historically accurate. The original Americans were dark-skinned people. Okay, now this is the part that we have an issue with. And this is going to be able to everybody's going to understand what we're dealing with at this moment. The image is an icon of genocide. So this is from Deborah Murillo, member of the OMCA's Native Advisory Council. Okay. The image is an icon of genocide and colonization. It is evidence of a continued oppression from the Euro-hegemonic culture and continues to be inappropriate, provoking negative, discriminatory imagery, a mockery of indigenous people. It violates our rights to self-identity, diminishes our cultural values, generalizing us as consumable commodity to be used as a promotional product, dismissing our culture, traditions, values, and humanity. Abolishing the statue will honor all indigenous communities. Okay? And then the last one that was there, it says, this is from Wesley Y. Leonard, a Miami tribe member of the OMCA's Native Advisory Council. He says, I keep trying to come up with something nice to say, but it's difficult. Perhaps this statue at least has value as a teaching tool. The commodification of our sacred tobacco is bad enough, but even worse is what these images do to Native children. As inaccurate and offensive as the cigar store statues are, Native children are still taught that such images are meant to represent them, Indians. Do you know what that does? Well, it should bring them pride, because if you're claiming to be an indigenous person, especially from California, your ancestors were dark-skinned. And the children of these bands, if they're going to be claiming indigenous ancestry from California, from the Bay Area, they should know, yes, that is an accurate depiction of what my ancestors were like. They were dark-skinned. So what we're finding is that there are Native groups who have now been mixed so much with the colonists, they are not actually now, instead of representing the dark-skinned people they are saying that they descend from and that they are claiming to be, they are now, whether they understand it or not, working from the position as it's controlled opposition of the settler. They are the settler, and what they're doing is erasing the dark-skinned images. Okay, and so what we are doing is there is another petition. So I will put the links into this description. And then I gotta go, guys. So if you guys want, I'll leave this here for a second or so. This is the QR code if you want to get to, but it's Hands Off the Cigar Store Indian, Stop Erasure at OMCA. If you guys want more information and if you want to just get the link, you can always go to FAIRE Rules. That's FAIRE rules.org, under the FAIRE Stand. Okay, so we're no longer going to cry about it or complain. If things are happening, we have something to say as original Americans. Okay, and that is one of the things that the FAIRE is doing at this moment, is making sure that the Native American Council. In fact, I can share with you the letter that we're going to be sending officially from the Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education. It says preservation of original American representation in public spaces. I wonder if I can share it. That's okay. I'll read it out loud. I am writing to you on behalf of the Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education, known as the FAIRE, and the countless descendants of the true original Americans whose history and imagery continue to be erased. It has come to our attention that efforts are being made to remove the cigar store Indian statue currently displayed at the Oakland Museum of California, a dark-skinned and historically accurate representation of our ancestors. We strongly oppose this action and demand that it be halted immediately. The so-called cigar store Indian statues are not caricatures, but visual records of the dark-skinned, woolly-haired indigenous peoples who were the original inhabitants of this land. Their presence in historical artifacts, records, and artwork confirms that they accurately reflect the identities of our ancestors. Any attempt to remove or erase these depictions is an act of cultural and historical suppression, further perpetuating the misclassification and erasure of the original American people. For too long, the descendants of the dark-skinned indigenous peoples of America have been silenced, their heritage rewritten, and their identity stolen. Today, we stand firm in reclaiming our truth. We are the original Americans, and we refuse to allow our representation to be dictated or erased by groups who do not represent our lineage. We demand that the Native Advisory Council, number one, cease all efforts to remove or abolish the cigar store Indian statue at OMCA and any other historical depictions that reflect the true appearance of original Americans. Number two, acknowledge the existence and rightful identity of the dark-skinned indigenous peoples whose history is being systematically erased. Number three, commit to inclusive representation in all indigenous advisory decisions to ensure that the voices of the true original Americans are heard and respected. The continued erasure of our imagery is a direct violation of our historical truth and legacy. We urge you to recognize that the true original Americans will no longer be silent. We will not allow our ancestors to be erased from history. We expect a response addressing these concerns and a commitment to preserving historical accuracy and integrity. Sincerely, I signed it, as well as from the founder of the Christian Stovall, founder of the Foundation of American Indian Restoration and Education. So that's what we're doing at this moment. Like I said, please, if you guys want to support our efforts and telling the Native Advisory Council of OMCA that we oppose them wanting to abolish this beautiful dark-skinned image of an original American, please do that. Like I said, we actually have way more say in the affairs of, especially in our own land. We just have to make our presence known. Okay. So like I said, it's very, hey everybody. Okay. I'm realizing. Hey, what's good? Big Philly OG, what's good, y'all? Yes, of course, Mob and Mike. Every country I've been is guilty of that. But what they're doing is, it's fine. If people are light skinned now, that's cool. You know what I mean? But if you're going to claim to be someone, then it shouldn't be a problem for the Native children to know that there's dark skin imagery. That is insane. And guess what? The original Americans has something to say about that. Okay, we're back, baby. Are you ready? All right. So like I said, what I need for everybody to do is to get the word out. You guys can share these. There's more videos on fairrules.org. I can't stay for long. I have to get going. So I've got meetings this evening. Hey, what's good, Boho? Hey, hi, Shannon Porter. Hey, y'all. The truth of it's good. It's more than we're okay. We're really okay. Hey, good. That's good, American Indian. So yes, are you guys ready? Okay, this is really it. This is our moment in history to be able to start to set the record straight. And we are living, breathing men and women American souls, okay? And we, the resurrected original Americans, have something to say about what is happening. We're not hopeless. We're not helpless. Okay, what are we going to do? Right? And right now what we're doing is we're unifying. We're starting to get this word out here. I will play one last one and then I've got to go, guys. I love you guys so much. Did I explain everything? Okay, so we have that one. Like I said, I will, if you go to the FAIRE Stand, that is our advocacy page on fairrules.org. This petition is up there as well as the petition for ancestry.com. I will play that one more time and then we'll head out. Ooh, here we go.
For years, we've been told a version of history that simply isn't true. But what if I told you that the proof of who the true original Americans are has been hiding in plain sight? Inside Ancestry.com's own data. Most people only pay attention to the ancestral regions in their DNA results. But there's another section most people overlook, something called ancestral journeys. And this section tells a very different story. In the region known as Indigenous America's North, there are only 2 community groups listed: African American and European settler. No Native American communities. None. That means, according to Ancestry.com, the only groups historically rooted in this land are Black Americans and European settlers. This lines up exactly with the 1828 Webster's Dictionary definition of American, which states an American is a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals, or copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So who are the present-day, copper-colored Aboriginals from these lands? The African Americans. And who are the descendants of the European arrivals? The settlers. How do we know this is the truth? Because in Ancestry.com's own data, they are giving Black Americans the nationality American, while labeling their oppressors settlers. The truth has been in front of us all along. This isn't just about one group. This is about correcting history for everyone. Ancestry.com's own research confirms what has been hidden for centuries, but they refuse to acknowledge it. That's why we're calling on Ancestry.com to tell the truth. Our petition demands full transparency and an end to this misclassification. Because history belongs to all of us, and it's time to set the record straight. Sign the petition now. Share this video. Because the truth matters to all of us.
Okay, all right, you guys. So please, you guys sign those petitions. You guys share. You guys are our boots on the ground. Okay, and I know some of you guys are into these groups where these people are trying to tell us who we are. Let them know who we are. Okay, you guys can share with them the foundation page. We talk about the DNA. We talk about our the foundation as far as spelling out and teaching people what an American really is and how that connects to us present day. And what else? Oh, hi, cousin. What's good? My Farina fam's in the house. Hey, Virginia. Okay. Welcome. And what's good, Boho? Sorry, y'all. I gotta go because I am in the kitchen where people gotta get going. We gotta get going. But yeah. So what was I gonna say about that? So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're standing as an authority on the subject, as we are very plainly and simply standing our ground. Okay, and from here we'll be able to unify. We'll be able to get our restitution, get our reparations. Okay, because I know they didn't think that they were going to leave us out. Right? I heard somebody. What was that show? It was I don't know the name of it, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with that Vicky Dillard. And she was talking about how somebody from, it was a brother or something from the Democratic Party talking about we're illegal immigrants. And I'm like, people are really running with this thing. And I'm like, no, now more than ever, we need to let know we're the Americans. This has always been our land. We've always been here. They have lied about it in history. You've been taught by King Candy. Oh, and if you're from somewhere else, from another country or whatever, and you're now getting here and you're not understanding about what's happened here with the black and the white. It was always black people here. The settlers have come here. They've rewritten history. They've taught us that our mixed bands, the people who have mixed between us, and that could be a mixed band between the English and the original Americans, the Spanish and the original Americans, the French and the original Americans, the Chinese, okay? Any mixed colony have been able to claim who we are. There's a little bit about that in Wreck-It Ralph. I don't really want to get into that at this very second, especially because I got to get going. But what happens is at the end of the movie, when we find out what's going on, let me show you guys. Let me show you. I showed you guys her crossing the finish line and how the memories were revealed. And then they say, now I remember, watch how everybody feels about how they've treated Vanellope.
All hail the rightful ruler of Shiraj, Princess Vanellope.
Remember, she's a princess. We are so sorry about the way we treated you.
Yeah, those were jokes.
No, I was just doing what Taffeta told me to.
Okay, you guys watch the movie if you want to. It's really good. Oh, and then the other part, one of the best parts is, so we saw a little bit of Vanellope. I'll give you briefly about Ralph. I mean, Ralph was treated like mess. They both lived in the ghetto, okay, which we could correlate with like red-lined communities, the projects, okay. They both were living on the outskirts of society, where the nice landers or the other racers were, who were being treated all the better than them, right? But what do we find out about Ralph? At the end of the movie, there's this song called the Wreck-It Ralph song, and they play it during the credits. And here, I'll play a little bit for you guys.
Wreck-It Ralph is a giant of a man, 9 feet tall with really big hands, living in a stump on his very own land. Living in a stump on his very own land. In his own land. In his own land. In his own land.
Yes, you heard that right. Ralph, the one who's been beaten by the police, the one who lives in the ghetto, he is actually the landowner.
Okay. Oh my God. I know you see it. Oh my gosh, my phone, I mean, my laptop's about to die, so I really gotta go. But yes, all right, that's what's going on here. We're living on a stump in our very own land. Martin Luther King said it too. We have some videos on that on the FAIRE, so go and check that out. Follow the YouTube channel FAIRE Rules so that you guys can share those videos. Join the site. We have a lot of good stuff coming. I don't want to tell so much so soon. We're just getting into it, but I mean, this is exciting to be able to finally be able to reestablish who we are here in America, to preserve our culture, to preserve our heritage, to let everybody know who we really are. Okay. The only other part is I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to turn down the brightness. Maybe that'll help not let the battery run so fast. Okay, let's see. And then I'll play you the other little part real quick, and then we'll be done. We'll be done. All right, so then the other part for the song, we just heard about him living on a stump in his very own land. Listen to what else they say.
He was minding his own business on the day they came. They showed a piece of paper saying eminent domain. They showed a piece piece of paper saying eminent domain.
Eminent domain is a huge keyword.
Okay, it's a huge keyword. Eminent domain was literally the policy that the government used to take land from our ancestors. Okay, the original Americans. They were, declaring eminent domain over all of our lands. Okay. So this is very serious. We have to start to understand so that we can finally get what's due to us. We can reestablish who we are. We can reclaim our dignity, our nationality, our respect, our identity. We can set the record straight, and so that we can better our lives and the lives of our future, and we can reclaim our birthright, because it is ours by birth. Yeah, it's ours by birth. Okay. And so I want to say thank you guys for everybody who joined us today live. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting me. I know it's been a very long time since we've been doing this. God just had a lot of things that he wanted to do, and he needed to put me into certain positions and in certain rooms and certain situations. And I thank him for that. I'm so excited to be able to come back so that we can get everything straight, and I can tell you guys what we need to do. Okay, so slowly but surely we get into that. Like I said, please sign the petitions. I'll take a moment really quickly after this and add in the links into the description on our YouTube, on this YouTube video. But otherwise, like I said, it's fairerules.org, FAIRE rules, RULES.org. And there you'll be able to find the petitions as well as the videos. All of the videos are either under the Our Foundation page or All About DNA. The ones specifically about DNA are on there. Or else you can just go to youtube.com/FAIRE, FAIRE rules. Okay, I love you guys. I will see you guys soon. Please, guys, give me feedback. I'll try to add the survey page too. Oh, that's what I was going to say is the responses that I got were about the lives, even from lives in the past. No, that's fine. You guys can tell me what you feel about these too, these live broadcasts, but I really want to know what you guys think about the FAIRE videos, okay? Us as a collective, we're going to now use these videos to be able to stamp who we are definitively. Like, it's like, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to know the best way to be able to roll these out, and what you guys think about the way they're being presented. What, just thank you. And some of it, I did get some feedback about those videos, but that's what I'm specifically talking about. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. All right. Till next time. Bye, guys. You finished? Well, kind of. It's taking me forever to end because the battery's so dead. Sorry. Oh. No, it's okay. No. Mm-hmm. Hold on, Felicity. Hold on 1 second. Are we still live? Hold on. I don't know how it's not letting me end. I'm sorry, guys. It's hilarious. I'm trying. Okay, hold on. I really cannot allow it to get this low again. Because my computer does not work when it's this better. And that's another thing. I've been tired.